tonight on our continued coverage of a decade of devolution. Now tonight, on this special coverage of a decade of devolution, we'd look at the opulence in which the 47 county governors have been thriving. Clearly, one of the objectives of devolution under Article 174 of the Kenyan Constitution of 2010 was to give self-governance powers to the people and enhance their participation in the exercise of the powers of the state and in making decisions affecting them. But despite the key milestones of devolution, some county chiefs seem to have been derailed by the powers they wield, even as they pose as, quote, mini presidents. Here now is Brian Obuya with the context.
Conversations with many development and governance experts show a reflection of how devolution has worked 10 years on, revealing a positive trend and with a ray of hope into the future.
Devolution has, number one, opened up areas that were hitherto very closed because of the one, micromanagement, and secondly because of the favoritism by the center.
Equipment like CT scans are now available. You have dialysis being done, and I went and witnessed firsthand patients traveling from within Mandera to their county hospital and doing dialysis at a very low cost, which was not the case when they used to come to Mandera.
If you look at the 10 years of devolution, especially in the grassroots, and you compare it with the first 50 years of independence, you realize that Kenya was a giant that was disappointingly punching under its weight. So in my view, to a large extent, devolution has been such a wonderful story.
We got some benefits that we can talk about. You know, governors, some of them have initiated very noble projects, you know, like in healthcare. In Vihiga we have, you know, the Otichilo care. You go to Kakamega, you'll find something of the sort. You go to Kirinyaga, you'll find something of the sort. So this devolution carries so much promise that we are yet to fully realize.
Even though many are alive to the fact that most governors have not lived up to the dream, this comes from the largesse and opulence the county bosses have displayed, especially in their respective counties. Unreachable on phones and in their offices, living mostly in Nairobi, moving around with huge convoys, unlike other local leaders. Some governors believe they are the gods of the counties.
The opulence that we have witnessed in the devolved units, I will tell you from the outset that is the indicator by the county chiefs to place emphasis on symbolism rather than the substance of devolution. Because devolution was supposed to ensure that services is brought closer to the people.
These are political offices, and politics is also about perception, how people perceive you, how people see you. So I am the governor of my county. So when I move around, I should cause some sort of commotion so that everybody knows the governor passed here. You know, like politicians will always want people to talk about them. All right? Imagine you're a governor and you just pass with one vehicle and nobody even realizes a governor has passed. But you have to create that commotion, like let people talk about you, you know, because in politics, it is always okay for people to keep talking about you because you will not be forgotten, you will not be irrelevant, people will always remember your name. So that is serving to actualize a political end, all right? So when they are moving around in their counties and in their opulence and in their huge convoys, it is just like a mini president operating in a county.
Take Kakamega County, for example, where MCAs in their wisdom made plans to establish the office of the county governor's wife, sparking outrage. That move espousing how governors, their spouses, and those thought to be close to them are treated with high regard in the counties. Critics of the Kakamega Office of the Governor's Spouse Bill 2023 held that if implemented, it could be replicated in the 47 counties and gobble millions of shillings which could be spent to improve people's livelihoods.
Unfortunately, morality is never a factor centrally in politics. It is what works. It is what goes. It is what people will perceive as a standout issue?
These are matters of integrity also. The ethical issues that EACC should be dealing with, that a governor cannot just bring all his relatives, his clanspeople, and employ them and lock out the rest of the county.
But the trend on how governors are revered in counties did not begin today. In 2013, barely a year into office, the pioneer governors began on a wrong footing, stoking controversy with their quest to fly national flags on their vehicles. A move that was, however, thwarted by court. Kakamega Senator, at the time Boni Khalwale, sponsored a bill that sought to prohibit the county chiefs from flying the national flags and using the title, Your Excellency.
What you see is an attempt to relive the days of Mtukufu Rais. And they are trying to imagine that they are presidents of the counties and that they should run the counties the day like we used to have this country run in the days of single-party dictatorship.
President Uhuru Kenyatta would then sign into law the National Flag, Emblems and Names Amendment Act of 2014, prohibiting the governors from flying the flag on their cars. Justice Isaac Lenaola would later note that governors could fly county flags. Governors have, however, to this minute continued to use the title Your Excellency, a designation preserved for the president, and they are doing so with outright impunity. But you have heard nothing yet. Baringo Governor Benjamin Cheboy, during his first term, went as far as deploying an aide-de-camp from the administration police, setting up the man to stand behind him in stature as he delivered endless speeches as would a president. Cheboy had set tongues wagging after the photo went viral on social media. So extra-constitutional and extra-legal were the ambitions of governors that at some point during the push for constitutional amendment, governors were seeking to be treated as county presidents and be granted immunity from prosecution similar to the presidential immunity that is provided for under Article 143 of the Constitution of Kenya.
Even as we have them as head of the counties, they must remember that there is the law and the rule of law. And because we are a democracy, and a constitutional democracy for that matter, we must remind them that there is never anywhere in the world where anyone can exercise unfettered power. Every power must be limited to the Constitution. And if and when the only person we can excuse from prosecution while in office is the president, because he is the finest expression of our sovereignty as a people.
Even then, some county chiefs continue to be treated like mini presidents, having red carpets rolled out for them during official functions, even as they attend international trips that gobble millions of taxpayers' money. But the biggest headache in the counties has not been the opulence of the county bosses. Some governors have been accused of nepotism and favoritism in employment of county staff. Many counties today have too many staff members said to be related to the governor and the leadership chain downwards. Investigations have previously shown that some county bosses engage in an exchange program for their relatives to work in other counties.
Most governors regard county governments as their private property. We have seen situations where some governors have converted their offices, and by extension their county governments, to look like family things or family units, to the extent that some of them want to only employ relatives, sometimes very close family members. There are some who are trading with the county governments using companies that are registered in the names of children, names of associates, etc.
Even though decentralization has brought government closer to the people, it has also presented more vulnerabilities in the political system. The expansion of government has increased the number of public servants handling government resources, in turn making oversight difficult, creating opportunities for rogue government officials to exploit funding and other public resources.
Effective because we are also aware of county assemblies that blackmail the executive in order to get certain things done. We have county assemblies that are blackmailing their governors so that they are given contracts to construct roads and undertake other projects. In that kind of situation, you cannot expect public accountability to thrive, because this will be an unholy union.
For instance, between 2013 and October 2022, it was difficult to pinpoint projects completed under devolution in Homa Bay County as corruption claims underscored its 9-year government. Brian Obuya, NTV.
Now, the county of Uasin Gishu is widely referred to as the breadbasket